A few months ago, I did a video. I did two videos. It was one video where it was acknowledging a story involving a black woman. Forgive me because I forgot her name, but I remember it happened in North Carolina and she was the town manager. It was a black woman. She got there and she basically cleaned up the town, and a lot of the police officers down there ended up retiring. Of course, most of them were PC. Almost all of them were, as a matter of fact, and they all resigned literally within a month of her being there. And then a couple months later, she got removed because they claimed she was too difficult, quote unquote, to work with. But we know why it really was. When you break it down, they just didn't want a black woman coming up in there cleaning house and basically doing her job. They were fine with how everything was, which was basically them not doing much of anything at all, at least not something lined up in their job description, or doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing in the first place. And she wasn't having it. So they got rid of her literally after she was only there for like a month or two, maybe 3 months tops. If y'all also remember, there was a story that I did about a black woman who had connections to like the schools in Baltimore, and she ended up getting a new position down in Georgia, and the people down there got upset with her because she was coming down there to, clean house, much like the woman in North Carolina. And it was mainly PC parents that were upset with her, and she ended up leaving there. And I think she went to another location, and then wind traveled faster than she could have to wherever she went to next. And I think they tried to do the same thing to her there as well. Fast forward to now with this situation with this woman by the name of Tiffany Guillory, who is or at this point was the principal of a school called Jack Yates High School in Houston, Texas, where she just got relieved of her duties last week due to a quote unquote personnel matter. Now, they don't go into detail of what that personnel matter was, but if it's anything like the examples I just gave you, I think we can understand why. A principal from one of the largest Houston Independent School District high schools has been relieved of her duties effective immediately, according to officials. Tiffany Guillory was let go from the district sometime last week, HISD's communications department stated. The district did not provide specific reasoning for Guillory's removal and only shared that she had been let go to a quote-unquote personnel matter. If that doesn't raise a red flag or raise suspicions to anybody, I don't know what will. They did not give any reasoning as to why she was let go. They just said it was a personnel matter. That is so vague. So it's like, it makes you question, what did she cuss at somebody? Did she berate someone? Did she assault someone verbally or physically? At worst, did she mess with one of the students in a very inappropriate way? They don't say anything. Meanwhile, you got a lot of these teachers out here who sleeping with their students, and some of them get second chances. But she got let go because of a personnel matter. And I thought it was very interesting that they let her go right before the holiday. Like right there, like right before the holiday. District officials sent the following letter to parents regarding the decision. Effective immediately, April Williams will serve as interim principal of Yates High School. Due to confidentiality laws, we cannot go into additional details regarding this situation. Please note that the district is committed to ensuring each student receives an effective education, and we will work to minimize any disruption to the educational environment. Guillory, who has been in a position since 2018, has yet to provide comment on her departure. After receiving notice of the change, several students reportedly took to social media in an attempt to plan a walkout from their classes this week. According to interim principal Williams, the fire alarm was falsely pulled by an unknown individual on Monday morning at around 11:30 a.m., forcing students to evacuate. And also reading into this reminds me of the movie Lean On Me with Joe Clark, like how badly they want to get him out of there after he came in there to clean up the school, but because they felt his tactics were too radical, they had to find a way to get him up out of there. But of course that didn't work, because if you've seen the movie, the kids protested down to the prison, or I should say the jail he was at, and he got him out, and he actually helped them pass that test, which is what they needed to get more state funding for that school. And then all those kids ended up graduating under his watch. And I think he still remained as principal for many more years after the fact. But again, that was a very forceful black man who came in and did what needed to be done, because they wasn't going to do anything. They was ready to let that school just fall like a house of cards. So my thing is this: what did she do that was so egregious that caused y'all to let her go? The fact that they're being so suspicious and secretive about their decision as to letting her go and why they're doing it, and not being open with the public about it, is not sitting right with me at all. And obviously it's not sitting right with the students. And if anything, the students should definitely be aware of why that is. After all, she's their principal. And the fact that there were students that were staging a walkout means that these students liked her. They liked her. Apparently she had a good rapport with the students that was top tier, that they are walking out in protest to support her. Otherwise, they would have been throwing a parade and being glad that she was gone. So when you put all of that into perspective, something very, very eerie and suspicious is going on in the background that this school and the superintendents aren't telling people. But like I said, take into consideration all the examples that I've given before I started to go into this story, and I'm willing to bet that's probably is lined up somewhere in there. She probably came into this school and was fixing some things around, but the thing is, she's been there since 2018. If you felt she was an issue, why wait till now to get rid of her, quote unquote? And I don't know if she's under a gag order where she can't say anything or whatever the case may be, but hopefully she releases a statement sometime in the future and tells the real about what's going on and why they wanted her gone. Like, she probably did something that rubbed someone the wrong way that could have been beneficial to the students and the school, but they didn't like that. I wonder, what it is. Because, the one that was in Baltimore, that black teacher, she was a black female teacher, or not, she wasn't a teacher, but she was connected to the schools. They said that they wanted to get her out of there because she was allegedly bringing CRT to the schools. I said that's a bunch of BS. I highly doubt she was bringing CRT because, again, CRT is not taught on a public school level. But they felt that because she is a black woman and she's coming to deal with students in a majority what appeared to be PC County, they wasn't having it. So they used CRT as an excuse to get her and run her up out of town. Like, I showed y'all the video. It looked like a whole mob. It looked like Jim Crow. It looked like literally like the scene of Ruby Bridges going into that school, and how all them white people, grown or otherwise, was out there yelling obscenities and spitting at her. That's exactly what it looked like. But yeah, it's real suspicious when it comes to this story right here. But I have a feeling that the truth hopefully will come out, and it's going to line right up with my theory of them just wanting to get rid of her. Because one, it's obvious she's a black woman. She was most likely doing something to help the school and the students that the higher ups didn't like. Or maybe she's doing something that they didn't want her to do, but she did it anyway. But again, to the benefit of the students. Isn't that what they're supposed to be there for? But then again, many of them are there for a check. And it shows.